Hey guys, this is Jon
and Austin.
This is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. We promise not to keep you as long as we kept you last week, though that was maybe my favorite podcast to record. I know you weren't part of it, but oh my God, was it funny to hear them.
There were comments from people in the front offices of like, what is going on back there? They're really loud. There's banging, there's noises. And I'm like, don't worry. They're doing a podcast. It's Brett, Kurt, and Jon. They're getting a little rowdy.
So I thought you were going to go a different way because there were comments on YouTube and Meatgistics of people saying that's the best podcast you guys ever did. I laughed so hard. So it's good to know that we annoyed some people. We made some happy and we made some unhappy. Life is all about balance. That's why they call it the meaning of life. The mean, bring back to the mean of life. Yeah, that's the meaning of life.
I don't think that's
restoring
really what it's
balance
meant
back to the mean. That's what I think it is. All right, so we've got a few things to talk about, and then we have a decent amount of Meat Matters. The first thing we're going to do is introduce what may be either a very short-term segment or might be something we do all the time. We've had Patrick go online and look at Kroger pricing for certain meat products. He then asked us what we thought those prices were per pound. We were able to ask some clarifying questions. He asked ground beef. So we're like, all right, is it 90-10, 80-20? So we got that. And then we both wrote down, did not see each other's, and he is going to tell us who won what.
Yeah, and this totally isn't a ripoff of The Price is Right, by the way.
It is so a ripoff of The Price is Right that we are playing by Price is Right rules.
Definitely.
Yeah. Cannot go over. If you go over, you're out. And the other person automatically wins. If we both go over, just no point is awarded. There are 5. So there should be a winner unless we tie on a few of them. I have a suspicion that we probably wrote down the same prices on a lot of things.
Maybe.
Oh, no.
All right.
I don't know, though.
Now that I'm looking at these.
Are they way off?
Oh, this should be fun.
Okay.
Some of them are. Some of them are really, really, really close.
All right. Patrick is going to read what he asked us and then each of our answers.
Okay.
And then give the correct answer.
Unless they're
obviously.
like way off and then we'll edit it out. And
No.
We'll
You will read them as is.
We didn't think this
How
through
far
well
off are
enough.
you on
There's no prize or penalty, is there?
We used to do the
There's no
penalty
prize or
shot,
penalty.
but
Yeah, we can't do
don't
that.
do that anymore.
There's no prize or penalty for this one. Oh,
Yes,
no.
yeah.
We still got the salt gun.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
We
in
can
for
grab
that.
Yeah, so. Okay.
Has to be like the hand, no shooting to the face.
Oh my gosh, no, yeah. That would be gross to
Neck.
shoot someone.
Okay, what do we got,
hand
Patrick?
place. All right, so the first one we have is beef bologna. How much does a pound of beef bologna cost? Nothing crazy, no deli cut. This is just straight from the package, Oscar Mayer brand. I looked up Bar S. That's personally my favorite, but Oscar Mayer yielded better results. Beef bologna per pound. Do you remember your answers?
I remember
do.
mine.
Austin?
$3.99 a pound.
Oh, no. I said $5 a pound.
You guys both played it safe. It's actually $6.49 a pound for
Holy
beef
moly.
bologna.
One for me.
And that's why my mom never got that growing up. She got the other stuff.
Bologna is like...
A delicacy.
But no, it's one of those things that actually is a bunch of like undesirable cuts.
It's literally hot dogs in a large diameter. Technically you can use a different seasoning if you want, but it is the same exact thing. You use the same seasoning for hot dogs.
Same
or bologna.
bulking agents.
Yeah. So it's, hot dogs are cheap. I'm almost curious what's a Bar S hot dog right now.
That'll be a future one. But okay, so 1-0 me.
Okay. Next one. Per pound of chicken breast. This was also Tyson branded. More, you'll see it in the yellow container with the cellophane on it. How much per pound of that? Jon, this time, what did you get?
8.
He put $8 per pound of chicken. Austin, what did you put?
$2.99?
$2.99
For Tyson?
for Tyson. See, I'm glad we're having this discussion.
Uh-oh.
It is
I think Tyson's a lot more expensive than it is.
$4.49
no.
per pound. So Jon went over. So that one
I don't buy Tyson brand. I just assume that they're way more expensive.
That's automatically Austin's point.
I don't buy Tyson necessarily either, but 8 is really expensive. Like, we're still talking chicken. Chicken should be like the lower end of the cost spectrum for most meat products.
Here's how, let me explain my thought process here.
Trying to recoup their...
I go and grab the big package of Kroger chicken, and it's usually about $10. across the aisle from me or across the freezer or fridge unit, whatever, is the Tyson. And that's always just 2 chicken breasts. And it's the same cost for 2 versus 5. So I figured wrongly.
Yeah.
I figured incorrectly.
Sometimes, I get caught up in that breast versus tenderloin. I'll stare at them, which one gives me the best bang. And I usually go tenderloin because I don't want to wait that long. Right, the whole breast. But anywho, next up is
1-to-1
per pound of just ground beef. This is the 80% lean. Now, this one's actually funny because I have the price of a prepackaged roll or a price of what they did when they packaged when they got to the store, right? Like in a tray, white tray container compared to the ugly roll.
You saw what I did. Could you infer from that what I was thinking?
No, not necessarily.
I was assuming the like chub roll.
So was I.
Yeah. Okay. Then we'll go with that one.
But before we go any further, are you going to do like price? If we're doing Price is Right rules, like a big ding, 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 ding. If one of us hits it right on the dot.
Oh, if you nail it, I'll be.
Is
sure
that
to
2
let you know.
points?
God, that should just be the.
If you
game
get
right
it
there.
dead on, like if it's $8.99 and you say $8.99.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that because I don't think I got any of them on the
I
dot.
definitely didn't get any either.
No, neither one got it. But wouldn't that be great when we first start? Like someone got it.
Got it
Exactly.
perfect.
All right. So, do you remember your answers for? Let's start with Austin now on the 80% lean chub roll.
$3.99 a pound.
$3.99 a pound.
What?
John?
How am I this far off? I'm very far over.
What'd you do,
I don't
like
want to
12?
say. It's 2-to-1. It's 2-to-1. Don't
No.
say.
Does it? What did
Go
you
right
say?
by it.
You got to tell
I
us.
said $9 a pound.
No. Only if you got like some crazy organic something you could get like
Here's
that,
the funny thing. I buy a decent amount of ground beef.
Yeah. What were you thinking? You probably buy a way.
I'm
big.
thinking the cost of the chub.
Yeah, you got to break it up to how many pounds the giant one is. So, so you probably would have been in the ballpark because you would have been take a fourth of that, I believe, and you would have been.
I think they're
way
3-pound
better.
chubs.
Anywho, whatever doesn't make John look like a complete moron.
So now it's 2-to-1.
2-to-1. All right, now we're going a little bit more your territory now.
No, I don't like being behind. I like to
Pork shoulder butt.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I've got this.
Pork shoulder butt per pound.
Oh, I should have clarified on this one: bone in, bone out.
You didn't though.
I didn't.
You didn't. So I assume it's bone in.
I couldn't even tell you which one.
It's bone in.
Okay, so pork butt shoulder per pound.
I
Let's
said
go. You said $2.49. John. Austin said
$2.29.
$2.29. The correct answer is $1.49.
What? It is not.
Dang, that must be on sale right now.
Yeah, that's got to be on
Might be
steep
on sale.
sale.
Might be
because
on
it's been
sale.
$2.79 recently. When I keep going, I even played around with doing $2.79.
I bought some fairly recently, and it was over $2 a pound.
Okay,
I know it was.
so no blood there. We both went over. Now
Okay, so then this one, John
is for
has
either
to
a
give
tie
it. Yeah.
or I lose.
Okay.
Do we both get shot if we tie, or no one gets shot?
I just we'll just roll it over into next time.
I really like where this is going.
All right.
So pork back ribs per pound. What
This was
does
a
that
straight
cost?
guess on my
I have
part.
no idea.
Yeah.
I'm
Austin put what?
$6.99.
Oh God, I put $7.
$5.99 is the answer.
Dang.
So not. I lost.
So John lost.
Okay.
no.
I want to make sure it was unloaded before you went
I really like this.
right in the palm.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2.
Oh, he's trying to pull it off.
Ah, you forgot the safety.
Stupid safety.
No, you can't do it twice.
It doesn't do anything else. Okay, I'll do it in
hope
3,
this draw blood is-
2, 1.
You have to really act like it hurts, even if it
That
didn't.
is stingy.
I actually watched it hit you and bounce off.
Yeah, you can see it in print.
Well, now you learn your prices more.
I should shoot my dogs with that.
I'm going to be going to the grocery store like every day over the next week and just
pay-
studying prices.
So here's how bad grocery bills have gotten. The last 3 times I've gone, I've had to physically actually tell the person, don't tell me what that is. Said, I don't want to know. I'm just going to crumple up the receipt and throw it out. Because it's always like $170 now.
That's me with my weight at the doctor's office. Don't tell me. I get on the scale. I swear. I look at the lady. I go, I don't want to know. Just don't. It'll ruin my month. Not even my day. Not my week. My entire
That
month.
was the best thing Patrick's ever said on this. No, but it's so bad that I'm like, I know I need it. Like I'm not concerned about how much it's costing me. I mean, I am very concerned about how much it's costing me, but Like I don't even want to know right now.
I don't feel as bad about knowing what we spend when like we go to the grocery store with an intent to actually buy groceries. It's those trips to the grocery store where we're like, hey, we need paper towels. And we go, and then we're like, well, we're just going to walk around and see what's here. And we walk out with $200 worth of stuff because we're like, oh, you know, let's get some Cheez-Its and dinner tonight. Let's get a frozen pizza.
Yep. And
then you start going, I think we're low on this. And you start just getting stuff you think you need. And yeah, it's like, oh, well, that's as much as I normally should spend on groceries.
Total.
That's fair. That's what's depressing
That's fair.
to me.
I try not to go to the grocery store hungry. And I try not to let my wife go to the grocery store because she will absolutely just grab things and put them in the cart. I'm like, no, that's not on. I make her send me a list through text message and I go and get all the things she wants first. And then I go get the few things I want and then right to the checkout line. None of this browsing at the grocery store.
Yeah, you wouldn't like going with me. Like my wife and I were the opposite. She can stay on track more, and like I'll be the one that like sees something and is like, "Ooh, that looks awesome." I did that. I did that last time we were at Target. Ball, the company that makes like mason jars and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They have a new. It looks like a Solo cup, but it's made out of aluminum. And I have no need for it at all, but I'm like, that's cool. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I do a lot of that.
Okay.
Huh. When I was actually for entertainment, when I was single and I didn't have to worry about finances for a family, when I was bored and I didn't have anything to do with friends, I wasn't at work. There'd be times I go to, usually it'd be like Cabela's. I just go through Cabela's and just walk every aisle and find what I don't buy a ton of things. Just pick one thing. What fun thing? It could end up being only like a $5 item. But
yeah, that's fair. But I mean, hold on. Going to Cabela's, going to a sporting goods store, much, much different. Like there, I want to browse. I want to look at all the stuff. It's at the grocery store where I do not want to do that.
That's weird.
It just gets so expensive so fast now. And then also I'm just getting fatter at home eating these things that I bought when I was hungry. And now I'm just eating because they're there. I can't tell you the number of times where I've finished something that I initially had no intention of eating just to get it out of the house. I'm like, oh, I'm going to eat all that right now.
I have a good question. How much food do you guys think you waste weekly and monthly, at least compared to the national average, which is something about, well, like at the end of the week, some people usually just throw food away that either expired or they didn't get to. And I think the national average is like got to be a couple $100 per household just at the end of the year. I was curious what you guys thought you were on that scale, more or less.
Less. The only thing that ever gets thrown out in my house is cucumbers when I forget I have them. And that's actually not that often because of my unbelievable cucumbers and salt and vinegar shake.
Yep.
Snack. It's amazing. And my wife gets like the pre-shredded lettuce and that goes bad so she doesn't get to that, but that's it. Everything else gets eaten. I will hold my wife's head down and make her finish. No, Jesus.
Almost everything that gets close to that, like, we might want to throw this out, gets fed to our dog.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least it gets used. Mm-hmm. The only exception for us being, and we try to avoid doing it, but we cook vegetables. Not a big fan of vegetables. I just don't, most vegetables I don't like the flavor of, don't like everything about it.
And they're bad for you.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
They're bad.
I think we talked about that 2 podcasts ago. Yeah. But if you cook vegetables, then you put them in the fridge and you reheat them again, I think then they're 10 times as bad. So that doesn't happen. So normally if there's vegetables, we try to make sure we eat it all. If we don't, dog's not going to eat it. So we will throw away some vegetables here and there, but really not much.
Yeah. No meat ever. There's not a single vegetable that I like more cooked than I like raw. I mean, potatoes, you wouldn't eat them raw, but I don't like them cooked in any way, shape, or form, so that doesn't matter.
I eat raw potatoes when I was a kid.
Did you really?
Yeah, they slice them up and give you, here, take one. And then you just, thanks. Yeah, chew on raw potatoes. It's not bad.
I always heard you can get worms by doing that. Is that a real thing?
Worms?
Or is it
from potatoes?
Parasites, maybe.
I never heard that.
I remember they clean them off. There'd be dirt on them, but
Right.
my dad would grow them in the back. So like that'd be funny. It's like, is that more prone or less prone to having potential bad stuff
Being grown in the backyard?
Yeah.
Probably
Not
more,
sure.
honestly.
I almost wonder if it's just like one of those old wives' tale that people say to like keep you from eating it. There's really nothing wrong. They just don't want you to eat it. So like, don't do that because
You'll get worms.
I
Yeah.
do know if you have braces, do not eat them because my brother had a horrible time.
Get
that
all
day.
packed up
They
in
got
there?
stuck
Yeah.
and he couldn't do anything. But
Yeah. I have a theory on that with fishing. The people saying that the fish bite better in the rain is a lie that men told their wives, so that when the wife was like, you're not going to go fishing, it's raining, they could be like, no, it's better in the rain. So they could still go. And then the other one is that you have to be quiet or the fish will hear you. That started from fishing with kids and just wanting them to shut up. Just be like, no, the fish are going to hear you. Be quiet. Those are my two.
The biggest thing I always heard fishing was, and I might be somehow doing this wrong, but I think it goes when the wind's from the west, the fish bite the best. When it's from the east, they bite the least.
Yeah. I have no evidence to either back that up or support. So I've heard the same thing.
Yeah.
Here, I've had people tell me it's more north and south, and when it's coming in out of the north, they bite not as well, I guess. But yeah, I've heard the same thing. I don't think it matters. I think it's what you're throwing. Like that's the most important thing. Are you matching what they're currently trying to eat? So it's like spring, fall. I do awesome on rattle traps and plastic crayfish. We should do an entire podcast just on my fishing advice. Lots of people would starve if they were
I'm
trying
sure
to-
there's probably weirder podcasts out
I'm
there.
sure.
I guarantee it.
We could do one just on fish. We just need to.
How about just more outdoorsy stuff? Like you could do hunting and fishing and instead of just fishing. But
if you want people to really starve, have them
Listen
rely
to
on
us.
my hunting and fishing advice.
no, I watched a lot of Bear Grylls growing up. So
adapt.
yes, I know how to stand in populated areas next to highways. If you ain't throwing Cliff Bars,
What?
that's what he did. It was all fake.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. So what else do we have going on right now that we want to talk about? I know I want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I'd be good to talk about that.
So the guy who is a Meatgistics user was initially how we got in touch with him, who we buy our 100% pure maple syrup from, which again, I want to reiterate is so much better than the stuff you get at the store. It shouldn't even be the same thing.
It is the best syrup I've
Yes.
ever had, hands down.
It is, I won't say it's nothing like what you get at the store, but it actually has like a maple dominant flavor. It's not just sugar, which is what that stuff is at the store. They should just call that syrup because it does not have any maple to it. This stuff
Syrup?
is syrup.
Syrup.
Oh God. I say everything two ways. I'll say syrup or syrup. I'll say potato or potato.
What?
I would never say potato. But this is a new product they're making, and it is 100% maple sugar that is aged in, was it whiskey barrels?
No, this is no.
That's the
they're
next thing?
going to be
Okay.
doing syrup aged in whiskey or in bourbon barrels.
Bourbon barrels. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's the syrup. I don't know how that's going to be. I'm not
I don't know.
a big bourbon in things guy. It sounds too that sounds like something a lumberjack would enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that is either I'm not a fan of, or it can be really good.
Okay.
There's usually not a middle ground for me. It's one way or the other.
Yeah, we'll find out about this. But this is maple sugar. We're going to try making a batch of tender jerky with this. I have a feeling it's going to be amazing. And if it is, we probably will stock it so then you could get everything you need to make tender jerky from us. I have a hard time believing, because I've tasted this and wow, is it like just a tiniest little pinch? Legitimately 5 minutes later, I was still tasting it in my mouth. Like it was that good. So we may end up carrying this. It's just a new thing for like, we don't carry small bags of sugar.
Yeah, just most plain ingredients. Plain's the wrong word. but
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Simple ingredients. Almost everything we do is seasoning blends. I mean, we sell individual spices, but
It's usually a 50-pound box.
yeah, they're 50-pound boxes, and usually, I mean, that's for our commercial customers only that are still stuck with they want to do their own blends, which if somebody's listening, I'll still tell them they're crazy to their face, because it's so much better and you have so much more accuracy having someone who that is their job, is to make seasoning blends exactly the same every time. Have them do it.
Yep. And even if you want some customization, start out with something like Willie's and add whatever you're looking for there. Don't try and start from scratch. But anything else behind the scenes we want to discuss? Any other inside baseball we want to share with them? We will soon have a way to link directly to images on waltons.com. That probably is a couple months away, but that should be really interesting. We also think we've figured out a lot of the image problems. We increased the image size and made some changes to when you post an image on Meatgistics, it's going to resize it no matter what. But what was happening is a lot of people's just their raw image from their iPhone, Android, whatever was too large. So we upped that limit, and then we played around with the resizing and downgrading scale so that we could keep images reasonably sized without losing too much quality.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, because that is something that has frustrated me over the years.
Yeah,
is what do we have wrong with the images? Why is it not accepting this or that? And it was a setting that we couldn't see or access. It was behind the scenes. And
to make it worse, it lied to us and told us that there was a place we could control it, and it just didn't work. And I finally figured that out when I think I tried to make it 800,000 kilobytes or something like that. And I'm like, all right, if this isn't still working, then it's not actually controlling that. But so that should reduce some frustration, hopefully get people sharing more pictures, because I know there are numerous times where I would have to pull up the picture I wanted, take a screenshot of it, and then post that screenshot. And that would work fine, because life makes sense. It does not.
Usually not.
Patrick, how does that come across when I whisper on the podcast?
I mean, I always vote against it, but it'll come across fine in post edit. But just when we listen to it, I'm like, oh, is it going to be a pain in the butt? But do whatever you want, man. We'll make it work.
A couple other things. Brett or I will be on BHA Kansas podcast coming up the next couple of weeks. We've got some cool things that they're doing. Specifically, one of them I'm super excited for. And we'll be promoting that, talking about that, and just generally talking BHA stuff.
Yeah. So other things coming up. John and I are stuck in a pickle trying to figure out what we're doing right now.
So annoyed.
There's two really cool events coming up.
One of them is my favorite event of the year. I want to make that clear.
Yeah. So it is. I gotta flip to the calendar here. May 13th and 14th. 13th, 14th, 15th, that weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. During that time frame is two different things going on. One, Pass It On Outdoor Mentors is having
our very, very good friends at Pass It On Outdoor Mentors. Yeah. Very good friends.
They are doing their annual fundraiser Bust a Clay event. Basically, it's a deal where they ask people to raise money for Pass It On, and everyone that raises $500 or more gets to go to Flint Oak, which is a 5-star resort, literally in the middle of nowhere. That's in Kansas. Awesome. Then all of a sudden, boom, there's a 5-star shooting resort.
Food's amazing. I mean, the grounds are immaculate and gorgeous. The sporting clay course is always fun and challenging. Maybe a little too challenging. They could dumb it down just a little bit.
Oh, I think they usually dumb it down for us too.
Oh, good Lord. Do they really?
Oh, it could definitely be harder. There's a lot of those that could be a lot harder, and they can speed them up. They're not throwing those things super fast. They can dial them up and have harder launch points and be throwing them faster.
Okay. Well, that's not good to know.
No.
That doesn't make me feel happy.
But that whole event's awesome. We go out normally on a Friday night, hang out, eat a steak dinner, do some raffles and things like that. Wake up Saturday morning, get fed breakfast, do some shootout, skeet shooting, do some sporting clays, come back for lunch, and then do an auction, or I might have flipped the auction and the raffle auction. Yeah. It depends. They've done different.
They've done
times.
it both ways.
Yeah. But so there's other fundraising stuff. So it's kind of like a conservation banquet. If you've been to the Pheasants Forever, Ducks Unlimited, National Wild Turkey Federation, whatever, their banquets in your area, it's kind of like that. It has those parts, but all this extra stuff to it as well. Just super fun. And it's a great way to raise funds for outdoor mentors and the kids and the hunting and stuff they do there, but at the same time kind of spoiling yourself in the process. But then also that weekend in Missoula, Montana is the BHA Rendezvous. It's like their big national convention show get together. So Jon and I are now stuck trying to figure out how we're doing all that. Normally it wouldn't be as big of a deal because Brett and Dylan, they would also be available to help out with some stuff. But Brett and Dylan are going to IFA this year, which is in Europe. It's like every 4 years. 3 years. Huge meat processor convention over in Europe.
Like the biggest meat processing convention in Europe.
Yeah. It
might be the world?
In the world,
okay.
Yeah. Not just Europe, but I think it's in the world. It's the place to be. But Brett and Dylan, they do like the commercial side. Jon and I do like the retail side. So we don't really have a need to go to Europe. But so there's
want.
Yeah, I don't want to either. So they'll be over there, and we're going to be trying to figure out how we're going to be in two places at once.
And this is our first year being. We've sponsored BHA Kansas for a number of years and worked with them. This is our first year with BHA National, and we are the highest tier sponsor with them. So I feel like not going is not a great look.
Yeah.
But I love that event. So the only thing I can think of that's possibly going to work and is one split. I'll go to Missoula and you go to Pass It On. It's the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah, but I go to the same thing, and I don't want to miss the first BHA event that we're. I mean, literally, there's like 3 sponsors at the top tier level.
Yeah.
And we're one of them. That's hard for me not to go to. So
fair enough.
We'll see. And Mike will understand. It's not like we're gonna. I mean, I just bought more tickets yesterday, day before. I don't know for
Gun a Week.
Gun a Week. So it's not like for us, any of us at Walton's not going, that we're still not going to help and support them. We're still going to be involved. We just may not be there. But
I don't get the emails anymore for Gun a Week, and when I Google it, it brings me to Outdoor Mentors Org's this week's Gun a Week winner, but it's saying 2021.
Yeah, 2021.
That's right.
It's not a calendar year. It's through the end of February. March 1st is the new 2022 drawing. Okay. So
they've been giving away some awesome guns.
Uh-huh.
Like last year was just basically all over unders. This year I asked Mike if he's having problems with over unders. He's like, nope, just getting other things.
Dylan was talking about that because he won a gun fairly recently here, and he got a 6.5 Creedmoor just like you.
Yep.
And so
he got my exact gun.
Oh, it was your exact one? Okay. He was like, it's kind of nice because I don't really need another shotgun.
Right.
But then he was like, on the other hand, I'm going to go spend more on a scope now than I probably would have the gun. So.
Yeah. So I know you guys listening to this really feel bad for Austin and I having 2 amazing events to go to the same weekend and not able to decide which one we should go to. That I'm sure that comes across our difficulties.
Yeah. Long story short, if you guys are anywhere near Kansas or you're willing to drive down, the event at Flint Oak, it's in Fall River, Kansas, May, what did I say? 13th and 14th.
13th.
Yeah, 13th and 14th. It's an event that you will not regret going to. It is amazing.
Ton of fun.
It's
Just
awesome.
looks like this year there won't be Austin and I.
Or if you're around Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon,
Come to that meetup.
Yeah, come over to the BHA Rendezvous.
What did we do last Pheasant Fest? They gave us X number of tickets to come.
Pheasant Fest used to give us a lot.
So I just talked to Chris, and they're giving us a decent amount again. Do we want to make that? Do we want to check with Dylan, see if anyone in that area wants to go, and then open the rest to Meatgistics guys?
No, I just go straight to the Meatgistics guys. Okay. That's all our realm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So we will, in the next week or so, I'll make a post on Meatgistics saying how many tickets we have, and people can, if they're anywhere near Omaha or feel like taking a little bit of a drive. That's how we met Papa Sop at the previous one. You
did. That was the day I didn't get out of bed till like 1 o'clock.
So sick.
I was pissed because I missed when he came by the booth, and you was there with you guys for a long time.
Patient zero. You were the first person in the United States to have COVID.
I could
actually no, there was already kind of around. People were already talking about COVID when we went up, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but no, it was at the time where it was talked about, but there wasn't the craze about it.
Right. You could still talk about it on an airplane, if that makes sense. People could say COVID on an airplane.
You can't say COVID on an airplane.
Oh, good luck.
What would happen?
It's like saying bomb. You can't say. Oh no! Some lady sneezed. She goes, "Don't worry, it's not COVID." That's what she said.
They got her. She got in trouble for that?
No, she didn't.
Oh,
I'm saying nowadays you would get looked at crass. So,
that's going to be a problem if we
because now everyone's known someone who's probably died of the thing that she said she didn't have. So it's just a hot button issue. You should watch the news a little more.
I don't feel like it is anymore.
So I guess
it's just not been a part of my life for the last. Like I stopped doing anything different a year and a half ago.
Just wait till you get COVID a second time.
Never going to happen.
Dude, I didn't think
my immunity is for life.
I locked
that in 0% APR life.
My daughter got it. My son got it. And then neither of them my daughter wasn't, she's only 2 months old. Mm-hmm. So obviously she hadn't had it before. My son hadn't had it before. And I'm literally holding both of them knowing they have COVID. What else are you going to do? Yeah. I'm like, so I see it as I probably still had, from all the studies I've read, I still should have had some natural immunity, but the fact that I had 2 kids with COVID coughing and sneezing all over me, it was going to happen.
Yeah, the viral load always made a difference with COVID, though never really got talked about.
So BHA Rendezvous, is that March 11th and 12th? I feel like that's right. I didn't actually put it on the calendar yet.
No.
No. That's Pheasant Fest. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. BHA Rendezvous is
May 12th through 14th.
Yeah, 12th to 14th. Okay, so Pheasant Fest.
We've got a bigger problem here.
Pheasant Fest is the 11th and 12th of March. Yeah. So yeah, because when you're talking about putting tickets out there for Meatgistics members to grab up, I don't think we talked about when it was.
Oh,
so point. That is coming in less than a month here, and it's in Omaha this year.
Crazy. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about, or on to Meat Matters?
I'm good for Meat Matters.
All right. Meat Matters. Number 1 story is Natrona man fined for selling poached Wyoming game meat to sustain his beef jerky business. Are you not seeing that?
Which one are you on?
That's the very top one. Oil City News.
Oh, no, we're good. Okay.
So the DNA from 18 different pronghorn antelope and mule deer were discovered when going through his processing floor. Interestingly, and I don't understand why this would be, the man's name was given in this article, but not the name of the business he was operating. I cannot figure out a reason for doing that.
He probably was just operating like a sole proprietorship then. It probably wasn't an actual corporation. You technically, you don't have to have a company to be functioning and running as a company.
Huh? Really?
Yeah. You can just claim that I'm John's t-shirt company and go start selling t-shirts.
Sure, but I'm not selling a food product.
Yeah.
I feel like that adds a level of complexity to all this.
Maybe.
There's
I mean, he's obviously breaking the law. Who's to say?
I told you when I first started working here, some guy at the flea market down south just slinging beef jerky.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah,
he goes, you got to try it with some of this on it. I was like, what is that? He goes, that's a secret. Turn around, he's just putting gigawatt hot on it as his finishing kick. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't figure out why they did that. Surprised. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that poaching is still really a thing, but I think of it as like an old timey
Poaching. What, like people stealing
poaching,
the ivory off of elephants?
Hunting out of season, exceeding your limit.
Yeah.
Like those would be considered poaching. I just don't think of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
I'm so removed from hunting myself, but yeah, I hear the word and I think of the more extravagant, like bigger game animals for some reason.
Fair enough. Like elephant for the ivory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a good point. But it was a tip to a poaching line that brought this all to light. So interesting. I wonder if it was somebody who bought jerky from him and was like, this is not beef. And was like, I'm going to rat this guy out. Probably.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Going on. So this is from the Montana Ag Network. The ranchers are disturbed that there was a settlement with the meat packers without them having any input or getting any answers on what had been going on. If you've been listening, following along with what we've been talking about a lot, there's a major problem with ranchers losing money when raising cattle now. This coincides with beef prices being about as high as they ever have been. Just not something that makes a whole lot of sense. So JBS, Tyson, Cargill, all the big four, all the last 2 years have constantly been in the news for price fixing, for all these deceptive business practices. The latest one is that they're going to cattle markets and making deals ahead of time with the auctioneers on what they're going to buy, just giving the ranchers literally no chance. So they settled this without talking to the ranchers, without getting the ranchers any answers. They're going to have to wait, they're saying years, plural, for any like answers to what was happening, why it was happening, how it's going to be fixed. And some of them are saying we're going to be out of business by then. I can't keep operating at a loss for, the third straight year. I have no idea where this goes. The only thing that gives me some form of hope out of it, or like a brighter future, is when we look at like the $500 million plant that the guys are building in Nebraska. Like the ranchers formed basically a collective and we're like, well, forget it. We're doing our own. So that type of thing maybe can break the stranglehold that the big four have on the industry. So it's really nice that we don't do business with those big four really that much, because we say whatever we want.
Yeah, very little to none. We used to do more. We've just gotten away from it because we don't want to. We don't want to be in that market.
Yeah. You tie yourself to that market and they change something. And if you can't change quick enough, you're gone. That business is gone.
We do best with the very small and mid-sized guys, because most of them are not large corporations. They're mom and pop shops with, most of the places we sell to at most have 100 employees. I mean, most of them are less than that. Most of them are 10 employees. I mean, just small town butcher shops all across America. I mean, there's literally 10,000 of them out there across the country plus. And it's a lot more fun to do business with those people than it is the big corporations of the world.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Next one is a lengthy article that was in Meeting Place, and it's a paradigm shift. It was actually in their printed printed magazine. It is talking about the expansion of the meat industry and the ambitious growth, how they're going to keep up with all of that. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but a couple quick hits from it is one of the people who they were talking to, this guy's last name was Horowitz, was quoted as saying, because of the moralistic immigration policy, we won't have enough people to run at capacity because Americans do not want these jobs. I'd really like to point out the story from a couple of years ago or 2 years ago where ICE raided the chicken facility, and within days that plant had over 200 applicants from Americans who wanted those jobs. So I just don't see that as accurate. This also goes kind of into some unionized stuff, and he makes some decent points on that. But the problem is not that the U.S. worker doesn't want to do this. The problem is that those companies haven't made those jobs attractive enough. Mm-hmm. When you're working in a meat processing plant, it is very, very cold in there. You're having to wear all sorts of protective gear, both from like a temperature standpoint, a cut standpoint, and a PPE. So it's very uncomfortable. I
wouldn't say very uncomfortable. It's very different than what people are used to.
Yes. Okay. It's unusual. And they're not getting paid a premium for that. Also, the meat plant workers have been dealing with mandates from the government for 2.5 years now. Tyson has lifted the mask mandates for workers, but not for their meat cutters. So everybody else who goes into the office, perfectly fine for them not to wear masks, but no, you people have to.
That's weird.
It's ridiculous. It makes no sense.
One of the quotes from the article said that I thought was interesting. It said, meatpacking companies need to think they're competing with Amazon because they are for workers. Yeah. And that's I think the most intriguing thing to me is that, almost everybody out there competes with Amazon in some way. I mean, we do in some way. You can buy some of the things that are like our stuff on Amazon. Our industry's still not super heavy out there with stuff on Amazon, but it's possible. But more than anything else, you compete with Amazon on workers because they're so big, so massive, have so many people, and that's a hard thing. Is finding people to do jobs right now can get difficult at times, but it's a lot of times just because there's a lot of other options, and so you got to make the job you have more attractive.
Yep. Yeah. And they are starting to do that. It said with wage increases, they're 19% higher than what they were in October 2020. I mean, that is a significant jump. So that makes it more attractive. They're also doing signing bonuses, retention bonuses. But Rodney Holcomb, who's a professor of ag economics at Oklahoma State University, brings up a couple really good points. But one of them is these older plants, location is a huge problem because they would be out in the middle of nowhere. With how they're starting to rethink the size of some of these plants and facilities, they're moving them closer to urban centers, or at least population centers. So that will make it a lot more attractive to people. I know that one of the things I love about this job is I live 2 miles that way. That makes coming back into work, if I've forgotten something, that makes coming in on a weekend literally nothing. I'll just stop in sometimes to see how the store is doing on a Saturday. Like it's not something that you would really think of as a major benefit, but it definitely would be a different story if I had to drive 40 minutes out into the country.
I don't know how people do that. I don't know how they commute. I mean, even 30 minutes, that's an hour a day that you're spending commuting. That would drive me insane. I couldn't do it.
Yep. And my wife does it. So can bird flu affect humans? Highly infectious virus found in 240,000 Tyson food chickens. So those chickens apparently are all going to be killed. But this is a quote from the article. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention said, according to the World Health Organization, over 700 cases of bird flu in humans have been recorded globally since 2003. I think it shouldn't say over. I think it should say something like only, because 700 over the last 18 years across the world is a nothing. It says that birds can infect humans, but it's really, really rare. And if they pass it to them, it's usually an infected bird shed some viral load directly into their eyes, mouth, nose, something like that. And even when they do that, they can't really, if I get it, it's hard for me to pass it on to you.
Yeah. I think people get scared and nervous about stuff like that just because if a strain mutates and jumps, who says it doesn't become what we're dealing with COVID right now? Is diseases are constantly mutating, and when is that next one going to come along? That's a big deal. That is exactly what we're going through right now. Although how COVID originated would still be up for a lot of people's interpretations. But what if it came from something like that?
Yeah,
that's the fear.
But most of the really serious viruses kill themselves out too quickly. Like Ebola doesn't spread across the world because it kills people quick. They can't spread it.
Yeah.
So
it could also be a really, really bad look for the meat industry. If the meat industry started off some sort of pandemic,
That's a fair
people
point.
would literally stop eating chicken, pork, beef, whatever, wherever it came from. The industry would be ruined.
That's a really good point. I did not consider that. There's a joke in Parks and Rec about bird flu, and this guy stands up at a town meeting and goes, "Bird flu? I'm concerned about turtle flu now." So I Googled turtle flu as a joke, and a CDC article came up saying outbreak of salmonella infections linked to pet turtles. So don't have a turtle as a pet.
Don't have any type of reptiles as a pet.
No, that's a fair point. Why?
Not
What
a
is
fan
the
of
point?
reptiles.
All right. Do you want to go on to the meat matters, or can I talk about my story
Oh, go ahead.
first? Okay.
I only put that in there just if we needed something. But
okay. I thought you did it on purpose. I want to point out that for years and years and years, they have been lying to you about
Jon.
how many shark attacks there are worldwide. This is provable because every time they find a piece of a wetsuit or something, they go, "Oh, the person drowned and then a shark bit them." This one happened in front of everybody. First shark attack fatality in Sydney since 1963, I think. They say the guy was swimming on the top and then a shark attacked him vertically, which means it came out from underneath, took him out of the water and crashed back down. They said it looked like a car had driven into the ocean with the splash. And then some, unfortunately, screaming, but he died. And then half of him was over by the rocks, and the shark came and ate more of
Are
that
you
half of him in
serious?
front of people.
Got seconds.
Yeah, so just absolutely terrible thing. Stay out of the water, and that includes rivers, lakes, and streams. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
This is coming from the guy that loves to fish.
I don't go in.
From the land. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like from the land.
It's not a spearfisher.
There's no reason. Spearfishing, you're insane.
Get a harpoon out there or something. Go deep water.
I would rather go bear hunting with my big buck knife than go spear diving.
That's a good one.
Way rather.
Would you
do
rather
that.
try to, all right, your goal is to either bring me a grizzly bear or a great white shark.
Grizzly bear?
Okay.
Easily.
I mean, you get to be in a boat for the other one too, though.
Oh.
How big a boat?
Okay, never mind.
Okay. We're going to need a bigger one. So.
Yeah. If I'm in a larger boat, then I'll go with the...
If we're in a boat, I'm going great white hunting. If you're not in a boat, I'm going bear hunting.
No, you have to be not in a boat to make it make sense. Otherwise, it's obvious.
Would you rather go bear hunting or moose hunting? Because that's almost a trick question of go with a knife.
Oh, yeah.
You're going knife hunting.
You're getting
for
messed up
bear
either way.
or moose.
Either way, you're not walking away clean.
I think I'd go moose because technically they kill more people.
Yeah.
But just don't go mess with a moose that has kids.
No, you're going hunting. You have to go mess with the moose no matter what. It's not like...
Well, can't you pick and choose which one you go after?
How's
Sure.
the moose killing you, by the way? I don't want to get too in depth, but
stomping.
you think it,
Hitting
I mean,
you
I've seen
with
how
the head,
tall, hit with
antlers.
the head. I wouldn't
Yep.
see that. Oh man. I'm so used to teeth and claws, and this is just blunt force trauma.
Oh, yeah.
coming. Jeez.
Yeah, they are absolutely terrifying when they charge.
Mm.
I say that as if I've been charged by a moose. I have not.
I've never even
to
seen
make that
footage of it, I don't
clear.
think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and you can find it.
Oh, wow.
You can find moose charging people.
You're lucky.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh no, dude, it's
out there.
It's
out
been
there.
there.
For sure.
Oh, it's so good.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if we have any other news, updates, new products. Is there any other developments we have? We've got more stuffer flushers coming.
They'll be here in a little bit.
I think it was 2-3 weeks, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. I can't think of anything
surprised.
else.
Taylor and I, like when they came, he's like, hey, what are these? And I explained it to him. He goes, no one's going to buy that. I'm like, you'll be surprised. But I figured we'd sell like 5 a month, whatever. We sold 40 in 3 weeks.
So, I mean,
And yes, part of that was some issues with the pricing and putting them on sale, but.
So let's say we're making beef bologna. If beef bologna costs $7 a pound from the store, and you end up with half to a pound left in your stuffer, but you can get that out. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you do something where you could get that extra pound of sausage?
That's
because
a fair point.
It will save you money after you use it just a couple times,
and it makes cleaning the stuffer easier.
True.
Your father, probably like a year ago or something, we were talking about meat hacks. It might even been on the podcast or a live stream. He's like, white oil the inside of your stuffer before you put it away. So it'll just make cleaning the next time. I was like, yeah. And I did do that to a certain degree with the hopper on the grinder, but I did it with the stuffer, and it was just like, everything comes right out. Mm-hmm. So that is a very good meat hack. And I've started up Meat Hack Mondays again on social media. So that and one that Dr. Payne, my brother Claude Tremblay, did. Those are definitely going to be featured very, very soon. But all right.
Very cool. That's all I got.
Sounds good. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Visit waltonsinc.com, meatgistics.com to find everything but the meat. Thanks for watching. I'm Jon.
And I'm Austin.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltonsinc.com. And to get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Walton's, everything but the meat.